In a world where combat sports create legends, there are few rivalries that capture the imagination like the clash between two titans of different eras. Imagine, for a moment, a fight between two of the fiercest competitors the world has ever seen. One a rising star in mixed martial arts, known for his explosive power and relentless pursuit of victory, and the other a boxing icon whose name is synonymous with raw ferocity and knockout power. The question that echoes in the minds of fans everywhere: what would happen if Khamzat and Mike Tyson squared off in the ring? Khamzat has taken the UFC by storm, dismantling opponents with a chilling efficiency that leaves fans on the edge of their seats. His rise to prominence has been nothing short of meteoric. With an almost supernatural ability to transition between striking and grappling, Khamzat has proven time and again that he's a force to be reckoned with. His confidence in the cage is unmatched, and his dominant performances have left even the most seasoned fighters in awe. But beyond his abilities, there's a mysterious aura that surrounds him. Is he the next dominant force in MMA, or is his rise merely a fleeting moment in the sport's ever-evolving landscape? On the other hand, Mike Tyson's legacy in the world of boxing is etched in stone. The undisputed heavyweight champion, Tyson became a living legend in the late 80s, known for his unparalleled speed, devastating power, and a fear factor that made even the toughest men tremble. His punches were like wrecking balls, and his ability to end a fight in an instant made him a household name. While Tyson's career has been filled with ups and downs, his place in boxing history is cemented forever. But as the years have passed, the question looms: what would a man of Tyson's caliber look like in today's world of modern combat sports? Now, picture these two forces meeting in the center of the octagon or the squared circle, each with their own style, mindset, and hunger for victory. The narrative here isn't just about who would win or lose. It's about the styles that would collide, the psychology that would unfold, and the drama that would ensue. Khamzat's grappling and striking versatility versus Tyson's explosive power and unrelenting aggression. How would these two worlds clash? Would the younger, faster Chimaev overwhelm Tyson's raw power and technique? Or would Tyson's seasoned instincts and knockout prowess prove too much for the 27-year-old phenom? It's not just about physical attributes either. Tyson's psyche, shaped by years of high-pressure bouts, world championships, and personal turmoil, is one that is hardened in a way few combat athletes can claim. He has faced the most formidable opponents and survived battles in and outside the ring. Khamzat, on the other hand, brings a fresh, hungry mentality to every fight, a mentality forged in the fire of his rapid rise to the top of the MMA world. This is a story of contrasting experiences and fighting philosophies, and it begs the question, in a showdown between these two, who would have the mental edge? But this isn't just a hypothetical fight, it's a clash of identities. Khamzat represents the new wave of combat sports, dynamic, unpredictable, and constantly evolving. Tyson, though, embodies the old-school warrior, the man who made history with his fists and ruled over a sport where intimidation and power reigned supreme. If they faced off, it would be more than just an athletic contest. It would be a battle of eras. And as fans, we're left wondering how this clash of cultures would play out in real time. Both fighters have a history of dominating their opponents, but who would dominate this fight? Could Tyson still harness his prime power, or would Chimaev's agility and wrestling make the difference? Would Tyson's 5'10" frame and history of facing the biggest names in boxing give him the edge over Chimaev's longer reach and relentless pace? One thing is certain: this fight would redefine what we think we know about the limits of combat sports. As the buzz around a potential matchup grows, the sports world is left on the edge of its seat, trying to predict the outcome. Fans from all corners of the globe debate tirelessly about the outcome. Some claim Tyson's power would be too much for Khamzat to handle, while others argue that the younger fighter's ground game would neutralize Tyson's greatest weapon. Could Tyson's experience give him the upper hand? Or would the new era of combat sports reign supreme? In the end, this isn't just about who would win. It's about what this fight represents for combat sports. A meeting of two worlds, old and new, power and precision, experience and hunger, waiting to explode in a way we've never seen before. The question still lingers: if these two titans truly stepped into the ring together, would either fighter be able to walk out unscathed? The answer may lie in an unexpected twist that no one sees coming. As the debate around a potential showdown between Khamzat Chimaev and Mike Tyson rages on, more questions continue to emerge. The clash between these two legends, one from the UFC and the other from boxing, isn't just about physical strength or skill. It's about how each fighter carries their personal journey into the ring. Khamzat's rise from relative obscurity to UFC stardom is the stuff of legend. His path has been swift, with an intensity that feels almost otherworldly. For a man whose entire career has been defined by domination, each fight has been a statement. The challenge, though, lies in how he will adapt when facing a fighter like Tyson, whose career was marked by one iconic moment after another, each punch more memorable than the last. In many ways, Khamzat is a product of today's world. He's young, hungry, and operates in a sport where the rules are constantly evolving, where training methods, technology, and strategies are sharper than ever. Born in Chechnya, Chimaev's early life was defined by conflict and survival, experiences that shaped his fierce determination. He's not just fighting for a title, he's fighting for legacy, for recognition in an era of high-profile names. The weight of that pressure drives him to train tirelessly, pushing himself beyond what seems humanly possible. But even with all that, the question remains: can Khamzat withstand the immense psychological and emotional weight that comes with facing a fighter like Tyson, a man who once struck fear into the hearts of the toughest men in the world? On the flip side, Mike Tyson's story is one of highs, lows, and near mythical status. His early days in the sport were defined by a raw, untamed power that was unmatched. He became the youngest heavyweight champion in history at just 20 years old, and in the ring, he was a whirlwind of intensity. Tyson was a monster, capable of ending a fight in the blink of an eye, overwhelming his opponents with speed and ferocity. But his life outside the ring told a different story, one marked by controversy, personal struggles, and moments of self-doubt. Despite his complicated past, Tyson remained a symbol of strength, his place in history never truly in question. But could the Tyson who ruled the world in the 80s still hang with a new generation of fighters like Khamzat? As Tyson's career moved beyond his prime years, there were moments of redemption, but also questions about whether the man who once dominated boxing could ever truly regain his place at the top. His return to the ring in 2020 for an exhibition match showed glimpses of the power he once held, but it also revealed his age. Could Tyson's experienced hands still land the kind of knockout punches that made him legendary, or would Khamzat's relentless aggression prove too much for Tyson to handle? Beyond the surface of these two fighters lies a deeper narrative, one of mentorship, reinvention, and the search for redemption. Tyson has spent years rebuilding his life, away from the bright lights and the endless headlines that once followed him. He's been open about his personal battles, from his struggles with addiction to his efforts to find peace in his later years. He's also become a vocal advocate for mental health, something that has resonated with millions of fans worldwide. Tyson is no longer the young champion who ruled the world with his fists. He's a man who's been through the fire and emerged on the other side, forever changed. Khamzat, too, has his own internal battles, ones that have yet to be fully explored. He's not just trying to build a career, he's attempting to establish himself in a sport filled with legends. The pressure to perform, to be the best, to carry the weight of his nation's expectations is a constant undercurrent in his story. But what happens when a fighter who has never tasted defeat is faced with someone who has stared into the abyss and come back stronger? The stakes of a potential fight between these two go beyond just the personal. This matchup would pit two eras against each other, highlighting the evolution of combat sports over decades. Would the raw power of Tyson's punches still stand up against the speed and versatility of modern fighters? Could Khamzat's unrelenting pace withstand the intensity of Tyson's bombs? These questions only add to the growing sense of anticipation as fans eagerly debate and speculate. But there are deeper subplots unfolding in the background. Khamzat has quickly made a name for himself as a rising star in the UFC, but there are whispers that the MMA world is beginning to question his longevity. His style, while effective, is incredibly aggressive. His focus on overwhelming his opponents quickly is part of what makes him so dangerous, but it also leaves him vulnerable. Could a fighter like Tyson, with his wealth of experience, find a way to exploit these potential weaknesses? It's hard to imagine someone with Tyson's savagery letting an opportunity slip by. Meanwhile, Tyson is battling his own set of challenges. As he steps into the ring at an older age, there's a sense of urgency in his movements, a need to prove that he still has what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the best. While his power is still formidable, his conditioning is not what it once was. Age, after all, takes its toll. Could Tyson's strategy evolve in this fight? Or would his instinctual brawling style put him at a disadvantage against someone as unpredictable as Khamzat? This isn't just a matchup of physicality. It's a clash of mentalities. Khamzat thrives on a mentality of aggression, of moving forward no matter the cost. Tyson, too, is known for his relentless pursuit of victory, but his journey has taught him patience in the ring, the ability to wait for the right moment to strike. What happens when these two mentalities collide? In every great rivalry, there's always a twist, a layer of mystery that keeps the story unfolding long after the first punch is thrown. The tension here isn't just between two fighters, it's the uncertainty of what could happen when two men who are used to being the apex predators in their respective sports face each other. The world is waiting for the answer to the question that no one seems to be able to solve: who will come out on top? The fight may be years away, or it may never happen at all. But one thing is certain: the story of Khamzat Chimaev and Mike Tyson will continue to captivate audiences, leaving fans everywhere asking the same question: what if? As the potential fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Mike Tyson grows closer in the minds of fans, the narrative takes an unexpected turn. The rising star of the UFC, Khamzat, has been unstoppable so far, but there are murmurs in the MMA community that he may be in over his head against someone with Tyson's raw, unpredictable power. Though Khamzat has quickly become a fan favorite with his brash attitude and relentless style, cracks are beginning to appear. He's been talking about fighting the best, but the questions surrounding his future and the demands of maintaining his ferocity are starting to take their toll. In the lead-up to what could be a career-defining moment, Chimaev faces new doubts that no one expected. Behind the scenes, Khamzat has been training harder than ever, pushing his body to the limit to ensure he's ready for the legendary Tyson. But even with his confidence, there's an unease creeping in. Rumors start circulating in the UFC that Khamzat has been struggling with a secret injury, a shoulder problem that could limit his grappling effectiveness. Fans are left to wonder, is this just a tactical move to mislead Tyson, or is Khamzat genuinely dealing with a vulnerability that could be his downfall? The possibility that Khamzat could step into the ring at less than 100% adds a new layer of intrigue to the fight. Could Tyson's devastating punches be the perfect storm for exploiting Khamzat's injury, or will the young fighter find a way to overcome this obstacle and push forward? Meanwhile, Tyson is dealing with his own battle. The aging former champion has been more open in the lead-up to this fight, sharing his personal struggles with the public. And there's a sense that this fight represents more than just a contest of strength. Tyson's confidence may be unshaken, but there's an underlying pressure he's facing as well. Although his knockout power is still fearsome, time has taken its toll on his body. His training camps are shorter, his recovery slower, and his physical conditioning not what it once was. Still, Tyson refuses to back down. The thought of fighting Khamzat stirs something within him, something deep, something primal. For a man who has seen his own battles outside the ring, this fight could be his last chance at redemption. But there's something else Tyson hasn't been sharing, something that threatens to derail everything, a mysterious condition that has been plaguing his health. Could Tyson be hiding an ailment that might affect his performance? The media frenzy around their impending fight intensifies as the stakes continue to rise. Fans speculate about Tyson's age and whether he can truly compete with someone as young and hungry as Khamzat. But the unexpected twist comes when Tyson's camp issues a surprising statement. Amid rumors that the fight is officially being lined up, Mike Tyson is pulled from the fight for an undisclosed reason. The sports world is left reeling. Speculation runs wild, with fans and pundits wondering whether Tyson's health issues have finally caught up with him, or if there's a deeper story behind the abrupt decision. For a fighter like Tyson, known for his unpredictability and unapologetic personality, the sudden cancellation of the fight stirs more mystery than clarity. Khamzat, now facing the reality that his highly anticipated fight might not happen after all, is forced to confront a new reality. His rise to the top of the UFC has been anything but smooth, and now the dream of a legendary showdown with Tyson has been taken away. While many fans express disappointment, some begin to wonder whether this missed opportunity is a blessing in disguise for Khamzat. Could this delay give him the time he needs to refine his game, recover from his injury, and solidify his status as the future of MMA without the looming pressure of Tyson's shadow? As Khamzat absorbs the news, another unexpected twist unfolds. Tyson, not one to simply fade into the background, reaches out to Khamzat privately. In a conversation that sends shockwaves through both camps, Tyson proposes a different kind of challenge. Instead of a traditional fight, he suggests an exhibition match, a test of skill, strategy, and heart. Tyson believes that Khamzat's future lies in more than just being a dominant fighter. He sees the potential for something much bigger. The challenge, though, is this. Tyson wants to train Khamzat, to offer his experience and guidance, and for the two men to become a team mentor and mentee in the ultimate combat sports partnership. At first, Khamzat is taken aback. He came into the UFC to dominate and carve his own path, not to rely on anyone else. But Tyson's words strike a chord. The idea of learning from the man who became a legend in his own right is tempting. The pressure to constantly perform and uphold his undefeated streak is immense, and Tyson's proposition offers a new kind of challenge, one rooted in the mental and emotional side of fighting. But there's a catch. Khamzat would have to accept Tyson's guidance, which could mean altering his current approach. giving up the fierce independence that made him a star. Would Khamzat be willing to accept that risk? Could Tyson, despite his age and physical limitations, still offer something valuable to the young fighter's journey? The MMA world is left stunned by this new development, and fans are divided. Some believe this partnership would take Khamzat to new heights, allowing him to combine his natural talent with Tyson's strategic wisdom. Others argue that Khamzat's fire and aggression might be stifled by Tyson's more measured approach. But the most intriguing question that looms is whether this move would change the trajectory of both fighters. What if Khamzat learns more than just physical technique? What if he taps into a psychological edge that transforms him into an even greater fighter than anyone could have imagined? As the clock ticks and both fighters grapple with their next moves, the anticipation surrounding a potential future clash or collaboration only grows. Khamzat, Tyson, and the world of combat sports stand on the brink of a new chapter, one that no one saw coming. The question remains, will this new alliance build Khamzat into the unstoppable force fans think he can become, or will Tyson's influence prove to be his greatest challenge yet? The answer is still unknown, and the road ahead promises to be more unpredictable than ever. The stage is set, and the world is waiting to see who will make the next move. The months leading up to the fight, or rather, the partnership, had been full of anticipation, doubt, and unpredictability. As the MMA world continued to buzz with excitement over the proposed collaboration between Khamzat Chimaev and Mike Tyson, the fighters had been on a collision course of their own making. But as the final weeks unfolded, it became clear that something even bigger was happening, something no one could have predicted. The relationship between Tyson and Khamzat was evolving into something more profound than anyone expected. The intensity of the fight, the pressure of the spotlight, and the weight of their legacies had started to weave together in a way that neither fighter had anticipated. Khamzat, once driven solely by a desire to dominate and be the best, found himself contemplating Tyson's words in a different light. His intense, nearly reckless fighting style had gotten him far, but now there was something else to consider. Tyson's insight into the mental game, the strategy behind each move, and the emotional strength required to face the toughest challenges were beginning to shape Khamzat's mindset in ways that no one could have predicted. His training had intensified, but not in the way most expected. It wasn't just about grappling or striking anymore. It was about how to prepare his mind for a fight, how to control his emotions when the pressure reached its peak. The influence Tyson had on Khamzat wasn't just technical. It was mental, it was philosophical, and it was exactly what Khamzat needed to take the next step in his career. The unexpected twist came when Khamzat, with Tyson's guidance, decided to break away from the MMA world for a while. Instead of continuing his meteoric rise through the UFC, Khamzat accepted a new challenge, a one-of-a-kind exhibition match with none other than Tyson himself. It wasn't a real fight, but a test of what Khamzat had learned over the past months. The world was stunned. Fans who expected the next generation of fighters to take on the legends were now witnessing a different story unfold. Khamzat wasn't just preparing for an opponent, he was preparing for an entirely new version of himself. Tyson's role as mentor had now come full circle, and the once untouchable Chimaev was now stepping into the ring with his own idol not to beat him, but to learn from him. The match itself wasn't about a knockout. It wasn't about whether Khamzat could prove himself against Tyson in the traditional sense. The true battle took place in the mental space between the two fighters. For Tyson, it was a final test of his legacy. Could he still stand in the ring with someone as hungry as Khamzat, sharing what he had learned over the years? For Khamzat, it was a test of growth. Could he take the lessons of the past and turn them into a future of limitless potential? Fans watched with bated breath as the two men danced around each other, with Tyson's movements slow but still calculated, and Khamzat's energy fierce yet thoughtful. Each exchange wasn't about overpowering the other, but about understanding the deeper truths of combat. In the final moments of the exhibition match, an unexpected shift occurred. As Khamzat went in for a takedown, something clicked. His training with Tyson had prepared him not just for technique, but for patience, for timing, for strategy. He adjusted mid-move, guiding Tyson into a position where he could have finished the fight. But he didn't. Instead, he let go, helping Tyson back to his feet, a sign of respect and understanding that went far beyond the physical. Tyson looked into Khamzat's eyes, and for the first time, the young fighter saw something different in his mentor's gaze: pride. In that moment, Khamzat knew he had crossed a threshold. He had not only gained Tyson's respect, but he had also gained a deeper understanding of what it meant to be truly great. The fight ended with no clear victor. There were no knockouts, no submissions, no finishers. What there was, however, was a moment of realization that transcended any one fight. Khamzat had unlocked a new layer of himself, and Tyson, though past his prime, had passed the torch in a way no one had expected. The world watched in awe, not because of the physical contest, but because of the journey they had witnessed: a story of mentorship, growth, and the search for true greatness. As the fight was called to a close, the buzz was not about who won, but about what had just been accomplished. Fans flooded social media with posts not only praising Khamzat's technical prowess, but acknowledging the deeper connection between the two men. Tyson's legacy in the sport remained untouchable, but he had now become a part of a different story, one where he wasn't just a legend, but a guiding force for the next generation. And for Khamzat, the world now understood that he wasn't just a fighter. He was evolving, with the wisdom of a champion and the heart of someone determined to leave a legacy of his own. The unexpected nature of the exhibition fight had turned a simple rivalry into something profound. What started as a speculation about who would win between two combat legends had evolved into a transformative journey for both fighters. Khamzat's future was no longer defined by brute force alone. And Tyson, for the first time in years, had found peace in knowing that his knowledge had shaped the next great fighter in combat sports. As the cameras turned off and the crowd slowly dispersed, the story didn't end. It had only just begun. Khamzat had learned the hardest lesson of all. Greatness wasn't about being the strongest, the fastest, or the most explosive. It was about understanding who you are, pushing past your limits, and learning from those who came before you. The fight, the lesson, and the journey would forever remain etched in the minds of everyone who witnessed it. And as for Khamzat and Tyson, their story had written its own chapter in the history of combat sports, one that no one could have predicted, but everyone would remember.